Hello everybody. So in today's video, I want to share my excitement for Monday morning SoFi's earnings. I've been waiting for them for a while. Of course, I don't cover SoFi too much on the channel because it's heavily covered on YouTube. There's a lot of outstanding content on YouTube for SoFi. But I wanted to just throw my free catalysts and the free things that I think are going to be great for SoFi. So catalyst number one is the smallest catalyst, is that they, as I had anticipated, they have released their savings account at 4.2%. And you may remember this video from 10 days ago where I was showing, is Apple a threat to SoFi because Apple had just released a 4.15% APY savings account with Goldman Sachs. And I said, SoFi is a very agile company. They're going to update their account as quickly as feasible and probably as fast as any bank could. And they did. They actually replied to this 8 days later. And 8 days later, Anthony Noto was tweeting, "Hey, that's it. We got it. We got it. We are still the best yielding account. We now yield more than Apple." And that was a direct response to Apple, and now it's 4.2%. So SoFi is once again at the very top of fintech and of yields. This is a company that's in high growth mode, and that's one of the advantages that you can do when you're in your high growth mode. When you're focusing on growth, you can give back a lot of the money to your customers to push your customers to switch to your service. And I think they're doing this much better than than a lot of legacy banks for sure. And it is the best fintech in the US, in my view, my humble view. Catalyst number two. So if you've watched my channel before, you know that I am skeptical to student loans coming back. And I've voiced multiple times that I don't think they're going to come back anytime soon. But per what I'm reading, there's a lot of chatter that are saying that student loans are coming back, and a Supreme Court decision may have much greater weight than, say, an executive order. And therefore, the Supreme Court may actually be the court that brings student loan repayments back. And so that would be wonderful from SoFi. It would have there's two reasons why this would be wonderful. There's a lesser reason why this would be wonderful, and it is, yes, they would be able to refinance a little more loans. They would be able to issue more loans and gain back a little bit of that legacy business, even though SoFi, in my view, has entirely moved on from its past on student loans. That's the minor reasons as to why I think this is good. The major reason as to why I think this is good is that if student loans resume, analysts will upgrade SoFi. They will be all over it because the market still thinks SoFi is, quote unquote, just student loans. That's still the overwhelming vision of the market. And so if student loans come back, even though I think it will have a mild effect on revenue for SoFi, it will have a wonderful effect for SoFi in terms of stock price, and that would be a wonderful stock price catalyst. And let me conclude with the third catalyst, which is what I opened the video with, which is the earnings. The earnings are on Monday morning before open, and I am excited for these earnings. Remember the last earnings report of SoFi, surprise to the upside. The stock shot up about 30%, and that was absolutely outstanding. And of course, then macro conversation, the stock price just went all the way back down, and that's just the nature of a SoFi stock. But they have a history of doing great on earnings, and I'm excited for these earnings. There's still a few things that I'm looking for, what I'm hoping will happen during those earnings. First of all, is to see a growth in the deposits. Clearly, the theme of this quarter has been outflow of money from legacy banks towards banks with competitive rates. And big banks, if one is not looking for rates, big banks. But I think there's that outflow from old regional banks has been dual. It has been both big banks and also banks that pay up interest. And SoFi, as we just showed, with 4.2% on a savings account is one of these companies that pays you interest. Additionally, you may remember during the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, they've upped their FDIC insurance to $2 million through a method of managing accounts and swapping accounts between different financial institutions. And that was a big deal, and that is a big deal to anybody who is fearful about having more than $250,000 deposited in the bank. I believe this will also have a positive effect on the deposits at a bank like SoFi. Other things I'm looking for are user growth, and especially, more specifically, growth in the number of users that have direct deposit on. This is something that Nodo typically says in the conference call, and I'm looking forward to these numbers going up. More and more people using SoFi as their main financial institution. Looking forward to seeing more cross-selling of products among existing users, which is part of the main reason as to why a fintech like SoFi or another stock that I like, which is Nubank, these banks can grow exponentially, show an exponential curve, because of course a user is not just going to buy one product. They're going to buy multiple products. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more of that cross-selling happen. Updated data on their recent initiatives. One of them I'm curious about is Pay in 4. But I know Pay in 4 has been coming under a lot of criticism lately with Affirm and other stocks like that. But I've always been interested in Pay in 4. I believe Pay in 4 is one of the future forms that people will do credit cards. It's very aligned with Gen Z, with millennials, and I'm looking forward to their data on Pay in 4. Looking forward to what they have to say about Galileo and the continued growth of their Galileo division. And lastly, in the call, I will be looking to hear about the credit profile on all of their loan originations. Yes, SoFi issues a lot of loans, including a lot of personal loans. But what's more important to me is that these loans are still issued to people with outstanding credit scores and with really high income, which is one of the differentiation of SoFi. If you watch my prior video, you may have heard me refer to SoFi as a fintech bank, right? A neobank for high income earners and professionals with a lot of potential. That's the way I look at SoFi, as opposed to, for example, a stock like Square, which is more a bank for everyone. If I look at Square as a neobank, I'm like, Square is more like a bank for everyone that caters to a lot of different customers. But SoFi is really targeting the money savvy user, and I look forward to still reading about the high credit profile on the loan originations for SoFi. And this is it. That's Catalyst number 3. I hope you like this short video. I'm looking forward to Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. This is not investment advice, never investment advice, just entertainment. Please like, please subscribe. Have a wonderful weekend.